Alrighty, everyone, we are here using the Dixie Vodka drone cam once again at the Atlanta Motor Speedway under the lights for the first Mountain Dew Custom Series test of season number 6. So 30 laps of action await us. We're going to have 37 cars here at AMS for this race. So obviously the only other time we saw cars take to the track in the Mountain Dew Custom Series here at Atlanta Motor Speedway would have been season number 2 for the season finale, which was won by, oh geez, I don't even know who it was won by, but it was a fuel mileage race that ended up determining the championship that saw Sebastian Kukulon pit and hand it over to Carson Bowers. But we have cars on the track. 30 minutes of testing await us here, and let's take a look at some of these guys. I can get the cameras up, and okay, I think we are good. So who are we going to start talking about first? Let's take a look here on track. Sure, the 25 of Larry Hagan. He's going to be a Sundrop Cup Series driver next season for Texas Star Racing. And this time out, he is helping out his friend's team and Cody Goforth, the new owner of Ford Performance Racing, FPR. They're bringing back the 25 once again. Last season had the Marco's Pizza colors, but this year all they could muster was the Ford decals once again. So this team running part-time here in the MDCS, but up in the Final Roll Truck Series, they will be attempting full-time with a couple different drivers. Next, we will bring up here number 33 of William Duncan. Finally broke through, got his first win at Watkins Glen last season, returning to his familiar Saya Trucking colors. That is basically his personal backing here in the NSDCA, but he's working right now through turns 3 and 4. Back at Ditech once again for his third Mountain Dew Custom Series season, and this year he is hoping to break out, hoping to put something together and make his mark here in the NSDCA, possibly try and run for a championship. Already blowing up. That's the 45 of Kyle Corbat. So literally like 2.5 minutes into the session, we have Kyle Corbat blowing up here on the back straightaway. That's not going to do these guys any favors. Casey Mears has to take evasive action, but Corbat, a 2-time winner in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series last season, already seeing his Rockstar Energy Racing Ford motor expire, literally leaving the pit lane, I'm assuming. So that's heartbreaking for Corvette and heartbreaking for RAR. They had some bad luck in the finances last season, and this is going to help them as it's already not even a full test complete, and they're already down a motor. Let's talk about him here. James Ellison, last year's Talladega winner, released from SBR mid-season in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series, found a ride with Evernham to close out the season and ended up finding a ride in the 53 when Cody Smart was released. They had a committee of drivers. James Ellison was tabbed for Kansas and Talladega, won on debut in Talladega, a really surprising win, held off Antoine Smith. And now Ellison, he got the full-time nod in the 53, rumored to be Max Anderson, but Max Anderson and Zachary Racing could not find a deal with one another, so Anderson still on the free market block, free agent block, still out there on the market. But in front of them is the number 13. This is going to be an all-star car for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports, basically all of Toyota. Shane Eves, Matthew Eves, he'll be getting some races in that next season, but right now, testing, it's the 13, another Pennsylvania driver, Alex Benyako. He's got some issues as... What happened? Oh, he had a tire go. Patrick Smith, he had an engine let go. I don't know what's going on with these engines right now, but we've seen 2 engines go here early. Corvette's back out on the track, but now the 13 has a tire go down on him, so that's heartbreaking for Alex Benyako. What did he do in... That's right, he drove for the 53, he drove for Zachary Racing before he got signed by Shade Burkhart Racing. Did not get a win last season in the Truck Series. Was involved in that horrible Talladega accident with DJ Gibson and Jake Galloway. Missed about 2 races, or did he miss 3 races? I'm honestly not sure if he came back for Candace or not, but Scott Roush did drive for some of those. But yeah, already seen a myriad here of issues early on. There's Patrick Smith. We'll talk about him while he gets an engine change here on pit lane. That's not what Cloud Foster Racing Operations wanted. They signed a veteran here in the offseason, trying to help their performance out. They've always been kind of a semi-competitive team, definitely like a B-ranked team, usually able to get 1 or 2 wins a season. They got that last year with Preston Edmonds at Old Spice. Edmonds is back in the 94, but Patrick Smith returning to Dodge, returning to full-time racing here in the NSDCA. Nice to see him back, but an issue here early does not do him any favors. Who's up next? Let's talk about him. Jeffrey Finguy here in the number 79. He drove for both Diego Yepes Incorporated and North Border Motorsports last season. What was a controversial seat swap mid-season that Finguy was not really keen on, but he's taking over a very competitive ride, which was driven by Logan Cloud last season in Mountain Dew Custom Series with the DeWalt colors. Got him to second in points, just lost out to Colton Lane. But now for Jeffrey Finguy, he's taking over some competitive equipment. Obviously going to help him out probably in the points standings and his pace compared to last season where he was around 25th the whole time. I want to talk about Colton Lane because the driver in his equipment is now a Dodge equipment, and it's driven by the other Colton Yo here for Texas Star Racing. These guys didn't think the 4018 Texas Star Racing could get any better, but they got not only the 14 equipment in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, but they got the 88 equipment in the Crown Royal Truck Series. So they're really loaded up from the Mid-South Automotive team collapse, basically. So yeah, can Yo bring the 48 another championship like Jake Galloway did? He's going to come up short like Jay Jefferson did in Season 1. We're just going to have to wait and see on that. But ahead of him is the number 67 of Cordell Smith here, returning for his second season in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. It'd be the 67 now. Last season he was in the 6, but IWX colors come on in a partnership that was helped by Kerry Coons taking over the helm of the TRD team. And Cordell is now driving the equipment Luke Rainey had last season. That is race-winning equipment we have seen in the past. Rainey won last season with it in Steelback and got a strong top 10 points finish. So although Cordell could not find any top 10s last season, over the course of the 14-race schedule, looking to turn that around. And he is not, where is he on the leaderboard? 29, so off to a slow start seemingly for the 67. Mack Johnson making his Mountain Dew Custom Series debut there in the 3 for Reed Racing. Mack was a Molson Modified Series driver, but as a road course ringer, didn't work out the best for him. But we got 3 road courses on the schedule once again: Watkins Glen, Old Spice, and Road America. So maybe Mack's performance is going to be able to improve this season up here in the MDCS. But Reed Racing, they have been a consistently inconsistent team. Usually had about 1 car make all the races. The 3 was pretty successful in that with Ryan Reed behind the wheel. So maybe Mack can turn that around with him and Nicky Morris making some starts this season. Got some side-by-side here between the 97 and the 79. Looking further back, there's the 68 of John Dilks, the other Toyota Race Development driver. He returns, and with Logan Cloud not having any scheduled starts here in the MDCS, Dilks may be safe of that rivalry, but he will be getting 5 Crown Royal Truck Series starts with TRD, and if those clash with Cloud, we'll have to see if those two run into each other on track again. But Dilks, outside of that, hasn't really done much in the competitive aspect of things. I think he got a top 10, maybe a top 5 last season. Not 100% sure on that, but Dilks looking to turn things around. 42, Austin Delgado finally getting his call up to the main Ange Auto team. Ran for them in the RBSTS it was at the time. Last season drove for KGM in the 46. Had a pretty rough and tumble season. Did make all the races, however, and now on the main team, running the second equipment to Daniel Kobza, as Kobza actually leads the time charts currently. And Patrick Smith, even with his new engine, he's gotten up to second, so that's big. But the Californian, Austin Delgado, looking to turn things around here for Ange Auto with his shot here in the big ride. Bobo Jones and his team, North Border Motorsports, they have assumed full control of the Diego Yepes Incorporated, now Monster Motorsports, MDCS operations. The 77 arguably had been struggling since Season 3. DJ Curtis couldn't win in it. In Season number 4, Bobo Jones had a pretty poor season last year. But now a Pontiac nose has been affixed to that car, as not only MBM but Monster Motorsports, they moved to General Motors branding throughout the top series. We'll have to see what Bobo Jones does with GoPro, putting a bunch of money into his team. But there's the fastest man on the track right now, a 28.517, a couple hundredths quicker than anyone else. It is Daniel Kobza, the dirt track racer, a Californian, putting together the California connection at Anj Auto with Carson Powers, Roger Ray, and Austin Delgado as well. The Hot Wheels branding comes on, so it's going to be a recognizable sponsor, and all of motorsports returning now, hopping aboard the NSDCA. Should be good to see this car, and definitely somebody we'll be watching for this season to make some moves and get some victories, possibly. Further on back, there's the 62, and speaking of the California connection, that is Roger Ray. Anj Auto inked a deal with the small Cyclone Motorsports team based out of Canada, as you see the CIBC branding adorning that Pontiac, but it's actually a really surprising year for Cyclone in the MDCS last season, as they made a couple races, had a really good run at the chaotic Iowa race with Adam Mitchell behind the wheel. But yeah, Roger Ray getting a strong driver behind the seat is really going to help them out. Where is Ray running? Okay, 28th. It's not last, because who's actually running last? That would be Mike Cook. So yeah, the 62 doing good. So it looks like we haven't had any other mechanical issues. Let's take a look here. Somebody coming off of pit road is Eric Monaco. Monaco, he is another Pontiac in this field. Moving up to the Crown Royal Truck Series full-time with Smart Motorsports, but he will be doing some time down here as well. Doing double duty here, Hidden Valley Ranch on this car this season. And this is actually the 02 equipment from last season. Equipment that he performed very strongly in. Where is he on the time charts? 21st. So, okay, about the middle of the field. Kind of getting adjusted. Obviously, his main focus will be the CRTS this season. But since Texas Star Racing, they got the equipment from Mid-South Automotive, their auction. The 02 became the old 48 equipment. So the 72 is now the old 42. What? No. 72 equipment is the old 02. I'm going to actually take a quick commentary break here because my voice is starting to go. Let's go on board some laps here with Dwayne Rockefeller, of all people, driving a Mercedes in the MDCS, of all things, for the Mercedes team. They probably not the quickest yet, 34th down the order. That's expected. Not a lot of equipment. Mercedes no longer supporting this team. They just said, well, I mean, kind of gave up on the program because it didn't work out how we wanted to. We're just going to throw you the equipment. If you want to run it, that's fine, but you're going to get zero support. So if a couple of these cars get too torn up, I don't think Mercedes will be returning to the NSDCA anytime soon. Let's go for a lap or two on board. A complete rookie to the NSDCA, Dwayne Rockefeller. And as you see here, Atlanta, it's a pretty fast racetrack, this 1.5 miles. It does eat up tires, so once these guys, if they start doing some long runs, they will be considerably off the pace to the guys that have fresh ones. Alright, that's about a lap here in Atlanta. We got to keep moving along, talk about some other guys. There's Mikey Yamakazee. Now in the 01 driving for BGM. Obviously, once they got together with SBR, Yamakazee moved away for Kev Shearer in the 83, taking over the 01, which is some pretty competitive equipment. Matthew Brown has put together some strong runs the last 2 seasons in the 01. It looks like Mikey is taking it down pit road. Yamakazee had an alright season. I think he got a top 10 only at Steelback. Kind of mired by some issues, but looking to turn it around in some strong equipment. We can get back to him. There he is. The reigning Dr. Pepper Dash Series champion, Adam Mitchell, will be running 2 races here in the 61, I believe, in the MDCS next season. He'll be returning to the DPDS full-time, and also doing double duty with the MMS full-time. Hagen Motorsports looking to keep him within the program for not another year. If Dodge themselves are looking to keep him in the program, possibly for long-term, because this kid has some pace. Because where is he on the time charts? He is 11th in very poor equipment. I don't even think this equipment has any upgrades on it. Pretty fresh equipment. And Adam Mitchell has put it together to 11th. And short track's his best track type, not even the speedways. So, yeah, this kid is looking to be a prodigy here in the NSDCA. About halfway in the session, there is a 27 Vince Freeze making his move up. He ran about half the season in the MDCS last year, split from the 27 and the 92, but now Freeze will get the full-time nod with Pennzoil colors. This deal was agreed to as Pennzoil, however, they have decided to move away from the main Monster Motorsports team as their relationship with DJ Curtis could not go because I believe it's rumored to be money talks between Monster Motorsports and Pennzoil that soured their relationship, but they are sticking with Freeze at least for this season. We'll have to see how Vince does, the Iceman here, in his first full-time gig in one of the top 3 series. Looking back, another rookie is the number 9, Zach Rogers. He ran pretty well at Watkins Glen. He's a road course ace. So here in the TSR, number 9, this was the 28 last season. And obviously the 28 did get a road course victory with Larry Hagan behind the wheel at Road America. Rogers will look to try and do that again with a new sponsor on him, Raise Energy. Behind him is another road course ace, Preston Edmonds. He won at Old Spice last season, getting CFRO, basically their yearly win. Sirius XM aboard. It's surprisingly neither car has X-Side on it, but nevertheless, X-Side putting a bunch of money into the Cup Series with Tim Foster, co-owner to this team. So Emmons looking to do what he can. He's actually P6, so it's actually being a great test for CFRO right now. 2nd and 6th on the board, although they do have the fee of a blown engine. Taking a look here, this is the 39. This is Anderson Reed making his return to full-time competition in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Evernham deciding to go route of a leech. Here, Reed made the Crown Royal Truck Series late chase last year for Orange Auto. Did miss Road America there, but notably in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, he won 2 races in this same 39 in season number 3. Won Daytona and Pocono, re-upping with Evernham, trying to put something together and reunite the glory days possibly of his career. This will be his 3rd full-time MDCS. No, 2nd. Excuse me, it'd be his 2nd because last season he was almost full-time in his own 47. However, that did not materialize. Currently P7, Anderson Reed. Ahead of him, battling him, was a former Dodge prospect, Alex Fletcher. His talks with Texas Star Racing fell out during silly season, and he signed with Smart Motorsports. And he'll be driving the equipment that he used to have because Smart bought the 48 equipment from TSR. So Fletcher basically in the same equipment, although this time he's in the Chewy.com colors. Smart Motorsports really came into their own last season, putting together some competitive showings. Fletcher did win, is the defending winner of the Valvoline 200. So maybe this partnership can work out. Where are they on the time charts? Though 31st doesn't seem like a good first impression here for Fletcher. Behind these two is the 35 Jose Perez, who arguably the critic says, yeah, maybe he should have started his career here, but in the CRTS, the 2nd season, year 4, he put together a great showing, winning the season finale at Kansas, almost winning like 2 other races. He won Las Vegas last season, although he did not get a chase wild card. But Jose, he has put together some great performances with GDI. Where is he on the board? About 28th. We'll have to see how he does here with the Tabasco colors in the MDCS. This car wasn't the most competitive last season with Patrick Smith behind the wheel. Have to see how he does. Did we talk about Mike Cook because he was one of the first drivers out? No, he did not. Mike Cook, surprisingly, this 89 no longer in the target colors. They kind of fell out, but Cook returning to Shepherd Racing for his 3rd season, trying to put it together. I think he got top 15 in the points last season, so that was pretty good for Cook. We'll have to see how he does, probably trying to get that as well as with guys like Colton Lane moving out of the series. The competition gap should be closing up heavily. But maybe Shepherd could get a win like they did with Tyler McCall at Iowa a year or 2 ago. Brad Stover, a very surprising signing for Zachary Racing here in the offseason in the 87, a car driven by Alex Peters the last 2 seasons, to some mixed results. I don't even think the 87 is... No, the 87 equipment never won a race because Season number 3, it would have been part-time because that had the Caterpillar colors, and then Alex Peters has taken it over. Peters does have a CRTS win, but yeah, Brad Stover jumping aboard with the Energizer colors. We'll have to see how he does over the course of next season with teammate James Ellison. Seems like some of the critics in the pit lane have nicknamed them the Dream Team. We'll have to see how they do as 2 rookies for a competitive team. Well, is Stover a rookie? I don't know if he's driven more than half a season. Doesn't have the stripes on his car. Okay, let's take a look at some of the times. As Mikey Yamakazee has gone to the top of the charts, that could have been like 10 minutes ago. I have no clue. It's still Cordell Smith, Matt Sladek. We haven't talked about him yet. Ben Yako. So it seems like the Dodges and the Toyotas are running really good. The highest Ford is Stover there in 10th. Casey Mears, 9th. That's a really good run for him. Further on down, Scott Roush, 11th, leading Ditech. Adam Mitchell down to 13th. Kev Shearer, 15th. Like the Vince Freeze is the highest Pontiac. And then obviously the 81 is further down the order. Jeffrey Finguy, 24th, not what he wanted. William Duncan, 27th, not what he wanted. Priya McShane, 32nd. That's not really good for her, but time's ticking down. I don't think we'll get to everybody in this session, but we'll talk to as many drivers as we can, give them some recaps. Speaking of winning on debut, that was what Jesse Turner had in season number 4. Won the Crown Royal 300, and it's almost been downhill ever since. His 3rd season here for Ditech in the MDCS, and the main and tall colors this year is Food City, only going to be sponsoring him for his races at Ange Auto, of all places, in the Crown Royal Truck Series. They worked out a deal, the 2 teams, give Turner some seat time and some strong equipment, and try and boost his performance and morale as he has been struggling the past 2 seasons. There's Priya McShane in front of a whole group of cars right here. She is on lap 42, so she's had a really long run in the units colors this season. Rockstar Energy Racing not really doing many primaries, especially down here in the MDCS. I don't even know if they're on her car at all as an associate or anything, but Priya had an okay year. I think she was about 11th or 12th in the point standing, so can't really go wrong, but right now doing a very long run. She's really holding these guys up behind her, not doing them any favors. Somebody who's broken away from that is Scott Roush, who we mentioned was 11th on the time charts. He started out in the DPDS last season. Got the call up during a kind of a swap with Cody Lamas mid-season. Had a really good run, although he missed some races. Had a really good run at Talladega, his home track. I think he may have even led a lap, so now it's Wiener Schnitzel aboard that Toyota, no longer the 67, now the 21. Scott Roush will have to see how he does, as he has proven that he may be a good driver if the equipment is right. He had some very strong runs for SBR, subbing in when team boss Ben Yako was injured. There is Matt Sladek, 4th on the board here, returning to the Dunkin' Donut 0. He missed 2 races last season. Wasn't the best year for him, but SBR, they've gotten some boost in the equipment with teammate Kev Shearer as well, so they're looking to attack. They don't want to be a midfielder anymore. They want to be a top Toyota team here in the MDCS. As we got some guys there on pit road. There is the slowest driver still, yes, Jacob Rose. He's had an interesting career, although a fairly lackluster career. Moved from RER to Yamakazee Motorsports this season, in the off season now, with C2 Freight Resources aboard as the primary for the 17. Obviously, this was the 46 team last season, but Jacob Rose trying to do what he can, probably put together some good runs, as this team is definitely road course focused and have a Formula 2 race winner with Rose and a strong road course ace with Casey Mears. They're going to be ones to watch. With time winding down, we have the 54 of Austin Johnson. I'm not sure if this is a full season campaign or not for the owner driver now, Austin Johnson. He returns to Monster Motorsports in the 77, although it's now in the Crown Royal Truck Series, sticking with teammate Colt Lane. up there taking over that very strong equipment there in the CRTS, so he'll look to run there. But down here, this is race winning equipment. Austin Murray won for his team last season, and now with Advanced Auto Parts aboard, we'll have to see how the 54 team does at the end of this season, because we'll have to see, is he going to get a win? Is he not? He did not get a win last season, surprisingly, in the 9, but he was top 5 in the points, so he's definitely a threat here in the MDCS. Who else have we not touched on? There's the one, Nicky Morris. Morris was full-time season number 4 in the Strike King 42 for Rockstar Energy Racing. I think at the time that was still Red Bull Motorsports, but as we got, oh man, they're side by side up here. Good racing here at Atlanta, although this track not expected to be on the schedule, just being used as a testing venue. Nicky Morris got a big draft lap in there, but he is up to 22nd, so I mean that's okay in the Wawa Dodge. But Nicky was involved with Sebastian Kukelan's team. However, that partnership did fall away at some point in the middle of last season, so he's going to bring it on in here in the Hoagie Mobile. Anderson Reed's team, Reed Racing, is calling it. So a scheme liked and hated by the fan base. We'll have to see how the sandwich car does next season. Who haven't we touched on? Is Christian Vargas in this test even? Where is he? He's 25th. But there's somebody we haven't talked about. Casey Mears in the 66. So Mears returning to his usual ride that he has driven basically the entire time here in the NSDCA, an owner-driver. However, Fruit 66, like the past 2 seasons, not on the cards. Eucerin being the primary, but the base design is the same. Mears has been close to winning on the road courses, specifically Watkins Glen, over the past couple seasons. It was Old Spice last season, which he had his best chance, I think. But is this the year to break through? His truck team at KGM, they've got some strong equipment, taking over an old TSR truck, which will be the 25 truck next season. So Mears looking to make some good runs in 2 series next season. I think Christian Vargas, if my notes are correct, is the only driver we have not talked about yet this testing session, but where is he on the track? I can't find him. There he is. He's coming off pit road. Hey, we're going to get to everybody. All right, that's what I wanted to see, that we talked about at least everybody. 37 cars, it's a lot to get through in 30 minutes, but we're going to do it. Christian Vargas here. It's Sauber Racing's first time in the MDCS as a full-time team, and it's Vargas driving this Dodge Charger around. He's familiar to the number 08, kind of his personal number. Drove that with Astral Motorsports last season, although that team basically fell apart mid-season for the second time, like Vargas went through when he was in the 95 for Golden in season number 3. So 2 mid-season collapses, hoping to not have that happen to him this time out in the 08, as he's going to be taken 3 wide here by Alex Fletcher. A big dive by the Pontiacs on the 08. Probably missed a lot of racing, a lot of action. Mike Cooks had an engine failure as he brought it down pit road. Yeah, he's brought it down pit road, but Mike Cook has blown up. That's the 3rd engine failure today. They are 3 wide here. Oh, man, Atlanta's put together some great action, but Vargas, 26th on the time charts. Not where he wanted to, but he's got to get used to the MDCS, as he's really only familiar with the trucks. All right, we have a minute left of testing. I'm just glad we got through everybody. Kind of a bit rushed here, but the top 10 has basically seemed unchanged. No, as I don't think Zach Rogers has always been up there. I think Rogers put in a big, strong lap time there, but that's your top 10 you've seen usually. Scott Roush is 11th, Colton Lane 12th, Adam Mitchell 13th. Still a great run for him. Kev Shear. We did not talk about Kev Shear. We've got some time left. Where is the Pinnacle Financial 83? There he is. There's Kev. This was the old 9 equipment, the old Austin Johnson equipment from Mid-South Automotive. So Kev Shear, always being outperformed by his teammate Sladek. Shear's had an up and down career here in the NSDCA. Where's he been? He was at Body Armor or Riggs. I'm not really sure what it was called at season 2. Seemed to be an Ange Auto prospect. Got placed at the time the Alliance team, Fitzwater Australia Racing. Found out he wasn't returning. Retired. Ended up coming back last season, running some races for Impala, while also running for SBR and the Dr. Pepper Dash series. And now we are about to run out of time. I'm going to pause it in just a couple of seconds so we can make sure we get everybody. Yeah, we're good. I don't think anybody who would be coming across the line would be putting in a fast lap. I don't even think they'd count it because it's just we're so out of time. Okay, we got through everybody. Let me get a drink of water and we'll recap. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Look, your big winners out. Oh man, Priya McShane. She was running around like 40 lap old tires. Pitt put in a banger of a lap time. She got third. I didn't even notice that. So Mikey Yamakazee leads them over Daniel Cobbs, Priya McShane, Patrick Smith, and Matt Sladek, your top 5. Alex Beniaco, Zach Rogers, Preston Edmonds, William Duncan, and Anderson Reed. So Duncan and Reed put in some late laps, probably taped those cars up. Let's get some fast runs by the end of the session. They did. So Duncan didn't have to worry about himself struggling. He jumps up into the top 10. Reed as well. Unfortunately, that does bump Casey Mears out of the top 10. They did not want to see that. Brad Stover down to 12th. Rauschio Mitchell rounds out your top 15. Then it is Vince Freeze, Kev Shearer, Austin Johnson, James Ellison, and Alex Fletcher, your top 20. So that's a pretty expected top 20. No real surprises in there outside of Adam Mitchell, I'd say. Further down, Turner, Corbett, Smith, Dilks, Delgado. Pretty low for Delgado. Fairly low for TRD as well. Then it's Morris, Monaco, Finguy, Vargas, and Bobo Jones. I mean, that is low for Monaco and Finguy considering their equipment. I mean, Finguy's got to get used to Dodge. But Monaco, that's a real off-test session for him. Then Jose Perez, Mike Cook, Roger Ray, Mack Johnson, Dwayne Rockefeller, Larry Hagan, and Jacob Rose round off the field in some of the poor equipment. I mean, Cook, yeah, he could have done better, but is what it is, especially when you had a possibly sick engine because it went. I'm honestly not sure if this is going to go up before the CRTS test or the NSDCS test this weekend. I know those are supposed to be on the same day in universe, but like I said, can't thank you guys enough for watching. We'll see you next time on the NSDCA, and the next test, the second and final test for the MDCS, will be at a short track. See you then.